I don't. Blech. Here are my feelings. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kelly, and we're here to talk about books. So I haven't made a video in 8 months. 9 months? 8 or 9 months. And that is because my phone camera died, killed itself, ceased to exist. Very shortly after I made my last video, I got a new phone, so here we are. That's the whole thrilling tale. Second, my dog might be in and out. Sorry if he's noisy. He's a dog, so you know. Now what we are doing today is the only thing anyone ever asked of me. So my first video was just my reaction to what I was reading and obsessing about in Lord of the Rings. I was about halfway through Two Towers at the time, and literally the only thing anyone ever wanted from me was to make a follow-up video when I finished the series and my feelings about it. And I never did that because I was taking the reading of the book very, very slow. I was reading other things at the same time, because when I did sit down to read Lord of the Rings, I wanted to really relish it and sit in it. And then my phone exploded. So because of that, I actually ended up just not finishing the book, which seems like a ridiculous thing for a person to decide to do. And it was a ridiculous thing for me to decide to do. But I promised I would make this video, so I'm making it. And once I got my new phone and my camera that would work, he's chewing on a bone now. Oh, there we go. It's gonna be noisy now. Sorry. I finished up the last portion of Lord of the Rings. I had left myself about 70 pages, so I was past Mount Doom and everything, and I really just had like the return to the Shire, the scouring of the Shire, and then Frodo leaving for the Grey Havens. I sat down, I read it all at once. Enjoy this footage of me bawling my eyes out as I read the last few pages. I had intended to film this directly after I finished that. It's been at least a couple weeks now, I think, and I sat down and I filmed myself talking about it, and it was incoherent. It was incoherent, but like not in a fun way. I might include some of it here just so you can see like what I was feeling right as I finished. Okay, these books just feel like coming home. It's like, I don't even have anything to say. I don't even know. I don't even know. Sitting back down and reading again, it was that same feeling of like being wrapped in a blanket, and I just wanted to sit there. I don't know. I am full of feeling, and I just adore these books so much. I did it. I did the thing I said I was gonna do. I've read these now. I haven't really been comfortable calling a book my favorite book in a very long time. I was always a Harry Potter girl. That's definitely still up there. I love Harry Potter with all of the depths of my soul, and it was a huge influence on me as a reader and a writer and a human being. However, upon rereads as an adult, which I had gone a few years without reading it, I definitely could see that, like, while it has its merits, it's certainly not like the kind of book that I love now. And if I read it for the first time now, I'm sure I would like it, but I wouldn't love it the way that I do. And so I don't really want to call that my favorite book anymore. He's really loud. I'm sorry. Usually it's the snorty cat, but that's okay. You're so cute. I have had books since then, particularly last year. I read a few that are definitely up there with favorites, specifically the Poppy War and the Seven Waters series, which I am still working on, but I've read the first 4 and that holds up. But neither of those is quite, I mean, I couldn't pick between the two of them, which they're very different. They're like opposite ends of the spectrum, which maybe is why it's so hard to pick between them for a favorite. But upon reading these, I can say with absolute confidence, this is my favorite book. And I know that that is so cliche and like typical fantasy reader thing to decide, but nothing compares to these, and anything that does compare to them is so much standing on their shoulders. And so it's like, I don't know. And the thing about these books, the thing about Lord of the Rings, is that it is so full of feeling. Like, I could go on and on about the plot and about the world building, obviously, and all of that stuff. But the thing that really gets me is just the emotional hold that this book placed upon me. I don't know how to describe it. The friendships, the relationships between these characters, the fact that when Frodo leaves, I mean, not even before that, just after everything happens and Aragorn is crowned, all of a sudden it's like these people may never see each other again. And that is so hard to reconcile with. I can't handle that. And the deep love that exists between all of them, the relationship between Legolas and Gimli, and the relationship between Frodo and Sam, and Merry and Pippin, and like how much Merry and Pippin love Frodo and Sam, and how they're always thinking about them, and the growth that all of these characters go through. And it's not even just, I feel like there are so many books where the characters are feeling so much feeling for each other, but it's not always expressed. These characters are so soft, and their love is expressed. They tell each other how much they care about each other, and that is so special. And male fantasy characters could take note on the emotional intelligence and emotional maturity of the men in these books. I gotta say, one of my favorite things remains as well, the Ents. I can't... That is something that if I think too hard about it, I will start to cry. There was the way that Treebeard talks about the Entwives, the song that he sang about them, just was so impactful to me. And even later, like at the very end, when Treebeard and the Ents are watching over Isengard, and the company comes back and sees them there, and Aragorn says, "We will never forget what the Ents have done here." And Treebeard says, wait, what does he say? He says, "Never is too long a word even for me." I bawled my eyes out. I think that moment where this ancient tree spirit of the earth itself is saying, like, no, we will be forgotten, all of this will pass, is so emblematic of so much of what these books are, of that, you know, desolate end of an era, end of an age feeling that they have, that they are pretty explicitly describing. I mean, it's not really a vibe, it's more like a setting, but that moment, it's like even more so than when I think it's Aragorn says, like, I don't think we'll ever be gathered together like this again, which also is devastating. But even more than that, to have Treebeard say all this will pass is just that's so much. And I know too that this would have been even more if I had just read them like a normal person all the way through, which I certainly will do. I am already planning a reread. Usually I am always reading multiple books at a time. Generally that means a physical book and an audiobook. But at some point in the near future, like next year maybe, I want to read these and just be reading these and just read them all the way through like a normal human being and not be reading anything else, and just really let myself sit in this world. When I set out to read these, I assumed that I would like them. Like, I loved the movies always. Obviously they're insanely popular and they're every fantasy nerd's favorite book, but like, I didn't think I'd ever want to reread them. I was like, yeah, I'll probably really like them and then I'll move on with my life. But I'm not moving on with my life. I want to experience these books in a very full way. And in the meantime, I want to rewatch all of the movies. I need more of it. I intend to read the Silmarillion this year, but no promises on that because, you know, I have learned my lesson with this experience, which is that I should not make promises that I don't know I can keep, and I don't know if I can keep that. So I plan to read it this year, but who knows? When I do, there will be more content. And eventually I will probably also make real content about Lord of the Rings that is not just, bleh, here are my feelings. So that's it. I don't, like, my heart, when I was halfway through, my brain was melting out of my ears. I was so like enraptured. Now I just feel like my heart has turned into like a little warm puddle in my chest. And so sorry if this is not the chaos that you were hoping for, if you were one of the people who asked for this video, but I hope that I have communicated at least the depth of my love, and I'm back now. I'm back. Okay, I'm not going to tell you when another video will be out because that's a recipe for disaster, but I will tell you that it will be less than 8 or 9 months. I spent that whole time that I couldn't make videos coming up with video ideas. I have a whole list. I have lots of stuff that I want to do and talk about. I have a big, actually, series of videos planned. Like a real YouTuber, I want to make a series of videos, but I need to get my hands on some books first for that because it's a whole thing. So yeah. So if you are someone who has stuck around this whole time that I have been gone, thank you. If you're new, welcome. You can expect chaos and unreliability from me in the future. And other than that, you know, like and subscribe, I guess.